Hello and welcome to Elflace. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below to know whenever I upload. And welcome again to D&D Storytime, and I hope you enjoyed the video if you are watching this right now. And if you haven't seen the first part, go watch it. I will pin it up above. Let's get started. After the group finished with closing the portal, they started to head back out. The wizard, whose name was Bledwin, not Fairness, suggested they go rest since the cleric and the barbarian looked hurt. Lectra agreed and led them back to town, bidding them a good night, and went to go sleep back in her tree. She was looking at the baubles that she had collected, a couple tapestries, and she planned to sell those. The most interesting thing was the golden hammer that was upside down. She needed to find out who it belonged to or what it was at some point. The others drank while Bledwin went upstairs to write in his book and rest. As it became morning, the group realized that the earthquake had reached the village, destroying some homes and buildings. Lectra had been up earlier than the rest because she was an elf and had come back and looked at all the devastation that had happened. When Bledwin came downstairs, he sat down with Lectra and Lectra told him what she saw. Bledwin nodded and said, "Maybe we should see where these runes lead to, or if we can find someone who knows." Lectra agreed. "I think maybe we should talk to the dwarf and see if he wants his under the dwarven place we went to, and see if we can make a deal to make some sort of profit off of this." Bledwin looked a little confused, but then agreed, and they discussed it with the other three. Dalen was still upset because of the alcohol. "I don't know. Why do we even bother? That place is just ruins." Aaron, who had spent the night with a farmer, "I don't know. I do think I fell in love, though." Danny grunted, said, "Free money is free money." They all ate and went to the dwarf, who was working. "What you need?" He gave the elves, because there was multiple, a good look, but knew Lectra a little bit. Bledwin started. "I think maybe we can make a deal about something we've found." Lectra nodded. "I think it's only right we discuss it with the dwarf." He looked curious at them. "Well, what is it?" Lectra asked him if he knew the old ruins, where he said, "A little bit. I've been here several times and I've heard about it." Bledwin said, "Well, there's a dwarven ruin under that. Well, it's also under our human ruin, and we would like to discuss you taking ownership and taking the stuff out, but we get a little profit for discovery." He thought about it. "What is down there that would be worth it?" Lectrin looks at Danny. "Can I have the 2 bars we kept?" Danny hands them to Lectra, so she passes them to the dwarf. "There are several bars down there." The dwarf looks over the bars. "How about 10% of the profit?" Lectra didn't barter. Looked at Bledwin. "I say 20%. And the dwarf, 15%, and that's all." They moved over to the side and discussed it a little bit. "Sure, 15%, Bledwin said. "Does the group have a name? We must make a contract and send it in," says the dwarf. They all look at each other and a few names are thrown out. Things like Falcon Dreams or Party Fowls. But Bledwin came up with a good name. "We are the Hunters of Antiquities." The dwarf sighs and then signs the contract. "Done," Bledwin said. "We need to go get our name patented and into the group system." Lectra had no clue where, but Bledwin said it was in the main city north. There is one directly in the center. They will pass through Dunwhiddle and head to Tobithin. They stay the night at Dunwhittle after traveling. And during the night, Lectra buries one of the toys she found at the bottom of a statue based on old heroes who stopped the undead from taking over Dunwhittle. Lectra, listening and watching as a rat after that, for nefarious people found someone and followed them to a tavern across the street from where the group was staying. Lectra sent an animal messenger to Danny, who didn't understand why the animal was tapping on the glass. When he opened the window, the animal told him that she needed help. He gathered the others reluctantly, after being just her sending multiple birds, and found her waiting outside. After Lectra explained everything, Aaron just went up to the door and knocked on the door. After no one answered, shouted, "We know you're in there, come out!" Still no answer. Aaron kicks down the door. After trying to open it, it was locked, and rushed in, finding no one but a camp in there. She knocks on the cellar door above and waited for the owner to wonder why we were in his cellar, and he calls the guards on them. As the guards arrive, they ask them why they're in there, and Lecter says, "There's someone staying down here. We followed them in here. They were doing some weird deeds. I don't know if I was supposed to contact you, but I was trying to do it on my own. Well, with them." And the guard says, "You should always contact the authorities before doing things like this, especially if you're new here." And Lecter just nods and shrugs. "Okay, if that's what it needs to be. We'll be going now." And the guard looks at them. "If I catch you sneaking into other people's places again, you'll be in trouble." Lectra agrees, since she knows she was doing something wrong, and then continues on by saying that someone was sleeping there again, and that she would like to make sure that the person is fine, which they say they're fine, and then she goes and stays in the hotel. Her staying in the hotel is the start of Danny and her friendship. She starts staying in his room. They become friends. Yeah. Continuing on, in the morning they ate, where Danny ate meat and Lecter ate the vegetables off of his plates, and then everyone else ate their normal food. As the day went on, they left, and they went towards Tobithan. As they were heading that way, they ran into a group of, it was either ogres or trolls, I am not very sure anymore. But as they continue on to them, they run into them and they attack. Aaron and Danny fighting hand in hand along with Dalen. They would fight together as the other two, which is Lectra and Bloodwind, would fight from a distance. As they are doing this, one of them drops a gold bracelet, and out comes an interesting golden dragonborn. He appears throwing his chakram and sees that they need help and decides to join in. After that, he helps defeat the group of unsavory individuals. He tells them that his name is Bolzan Kazan, and he is a rogue. He has no idea why he's even there or how he appeared. When looking at the bracelet, Bloodwind finds out that it's some sort of magic that no one is used to. Bolzan said the last thing he remembers is fighting a wizard, and he just appeared here. That's when Bolzan becomes a part of the group, and he is a very friendly individual who likes to sneak around because he's a rogue. As they head towards Tobithan, they enter into the city limits, and the first thing that Stalin wants to go do is to go see any bars or anything. We heard that there's something about Red Inn or something, and they said they wanted to go there, but Lectra, being one-minded and worried that the dwarf would go and take the name of the Hunters of Antiquities, that she forced them to first go and get the paperwork done for the Hunters of Antiquities. which was when the Hunters of Antiquities was formed, adding each of their names to the registry or the name of it. As Aaron and Dalen went to the Red Inn, or whatever it's actually called. It's a place for ladies of the night. Danny, Bolzen, and Electra head to a different inn right across the street from the place where they got their name signed in. And Bledwin went to the library and searched for information on what happened. While Danny, Bolzen, and Lectra were in this tavern or bar, they were so politely introduced to the Hateful Eight. And the Hateful Eight become an important part of the next story. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below to know whenever I upload. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Here's the other one up on the screen if you didn't watch it before, and toodaloo!